But the clear story of the game on Monday night was the cutaway to incredible shrinking Tom Brady, who seemed to be, and we had some fun with it yesterday, but if we have the video, I really do think he found the lever on his chair. Watch when he notices that he's on screen. Watch him shrink. Watch what happens. Yeah. He inevitably looks up to the left. He sees the monitor.
Right now. That's what
and then it's like, down I go. Screw these people who want to put me on camera. And he probably was pissed that ESPN did it. He probably was upset that he was outed sitting in the coaching box because the impact of that moment, and it was followed by a report from Peter Schrager that he talks to Chip Kelly 2 or 3 times per week. And that got all screwed up yesterday, too. Let me just vent on that for a second. Go ahead. I was disappointed by the number of reporters and people in the media and the guy that asked the question. Because here's what happened. Schrager said that Brady talks to Kelly 2 or 3 times a week. That's what he said. And I start seeing tweets. Pete Carroll disputes. Report. Pete Carroll debunks. Report. My first thought was, well, I guess Pete Carroll thinks the non-player is a non-reporter. And then I went and watched the video. The problem is the person that asked the question, I have no idea who it was, but the person who asked the question, so there was a report during the game that Tom Brady meets with Chip Kelly and reviews game plan 3 times a week. It's like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. And everybody just starts going with Pete Carroll disputes it. It's like, pull up the frickin' video and watch it. Have some natural curiosity and act on it. That's what this job is. Natural curiosity, and then we act on it. We watch things, we hear things, we see things that make us curious, and we know there's a place to get the answer. The raw video and audio of the place and time where Pete Carroll said what he said. And when the question is, he meets with him, of course he doesn't. Tom Brady's not going to Las Vegas 2 or 3 times a week. He's got other shit that he's doing. I was just amazed by that yesterday. Yeah. I was amazed by that. I saw it everywhere. And it's like, people, listen. You got to have some independent thought and do some independent work. It's not that hard. Let's not be lazy. We're working in the toy department. Let's not be lazy while we work in the toy department. Let's have fun, and let's make sure the toys are properly arranged so the customers aren't confused, because that's the end result. People are confused, and they think that Pete Carroll disputed and I don't know why you would doubt, like, everything we see during the game is the culmination of everything that they've heard in the run-up to the game. And when they're going to cut to the sideline reporter, 3 times a game? I suspect that they're going to be pretty confident about the stuff the sideline reporter says.
100%. Especially somebody like Peter Schrager. I mean, Peter Schrager, he knows he's connected throughout the league. He's not coming on there to BS and say something like that. But, yeah, I ask you, how many of the people in the press box, right? I've been in a press box, but I've never sat there and watched a game throughout. How many people there sit there and actually listen to the TV telecast while they're watching the game, right? I think that would be an important thing. You're going to learn things during the game that Troy Aikman and Buck and
absolutely right.
I don't care what you know and who you know, they're going to have some info that you don't know. So you need to keep track of that as the story of the game. And I'm almost a little surprised sometimes because we get to these instances and I go, I'm not sure they heard what was going on in the game sometimes. They're just trying to piece it together here later after by social media, by what they saw there live in person, but they don't have the real story. And I don't know, maybe you could shed a little more light on that in the press box.
No, we were having this conversation yesterday about, what the announcers said when the Giants chose to kick in overtime on Sunday. It was the first regular season game that guarantees possessions for both teams. And I don't want to go too far down that road because we're going to talk about it later. Right. But one of the writers on the PFT text thread said, well, the announcers did address it. So, the report, but you're not listening to the game feed. You're not listening to the game feed when you're in the press box. Sometimes, it's a little cumbersome. It's a little clunky. You're watching the game. You hear the PA announcer, and there's a special PA announcer in the press box that gives you updates on injuries and stuff. But you're not listening to the game audio in large part because it's like 10 seconds behind what you're watching. It's behind what's going on the field. So if you're going to characterize a report that was made during the game broadcast, it might be a good idea to ask someone to play it back for you, to look on social media to find the clip. It was out there. And here's the reality. The question was asked incorrectly. And Pete Carroll said that's not accurate 3 times. But then he said that Pete and Chip Kelly talked to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Right.
So he didn't dispute it. He confirmed it. And we tried to present it that way, but it really did drive me crazy. It's just one of those little things that it speaks to a fundamental laziness that I will not tolerate. Laziness. Like, if you're lazy about your job, find another job. Because, again, this isn't hard. We're not splitting atoms here. We're not engaging in brain surgery. We're not doing things that have a very small margin for error. It's very simple, and you have basic curiosity, and it isn't all that hard. You don't have to be very resourceful to get an answer to your curiosity of what was really said and how are we going to advance this story. That was their chance to advance the story, and the guy that asked the question just blew it. And I don't blame him as much as I blame everybody else who didn't go look at the damn press conference and see exactly what Pete Carroll said. So anyway, I didn't plan to go down that path.
That's all right.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.